I'm going to share a little bit of a testimony about what actually happened to me, um, with regards to healing. So, not only has the Lord healed me from my addiction from heroin and crack for like, I was a heroin and crack user for over 3/4 of my life, but the thing that blows my mind to this day is probably the healing of my leg. So, in my active addiction, I was an active shoplifter. That's what I used to do to basically fund my addiction each day. I'd be out shoplifting. So I had my leg broken by a security guard. So I was basically seen in a shop filling my coat up with stuff, and I tried to run out of this shop, and the security guard basically chased after me, caught me, bear hugged me, jumped up in air with me, slammed me down on the ground, and as he's done that, his leg's gone into the back. His knee has gone into the back of my leg, and basically gone snap. It snapped my ankle, so my foot were like that. Imagine that's my leg. My leg were like that, so that's my foot there. So it were proper snapped. It snapped my fibia and my tibia both in 2 places. So I had 4 breaks in total in my leg. I were heavily sedated, and when I was in the hospital, they were basically, I don't know what they give me. I was high as a kite off of it, but I think it probably ketamine or something along them lines. They snapped my leg back into place. Now, after they'd done that, I went into surgery. So I was in surgery, and they put a titanium rod in my ankle to try and hold it together so that it fused back together properly. Me, in all my wisdom and the madness that I was in at that time, I was walking about on my leg on this after I just had surgery. I was actually going to buy drugs. So what's happened is it caused an infection in my ankle basically. And what's happened is, rather than the bone fusing together like that, like it should have, like it originally is, it had fused together like that, so it was side by side. So, as you can imagine, right, with the infection in my leg, they had to go back in and take the titanium rod out of my leg and try and let it heal on its own, because of the infection and that, they needed to get everything out of the way so that they could clear the infection out. Otherwise, it would have travelled up my leg past my knee. If it had gone past my knee, basically there's nothing stopping it straight into your heart and you're dead. So, as you can imagine, it caused me a lot of pain. Even when like walking around and stuff, or when it got cold, and it just wasn't right. It, like I said, we're healed like that. So the healing part. So I've gone to a festival called New Wine, and while I was at this festival, the people on the stage, it were Mumford and Sons' mum and dad that were on the stage, and the dad has said, if anybody wants prayer for any injuries that they may have had, or any problems, that the physical problems what they've got, come forward for any. He specifically mentioned legs, breaks in the legs. He said, if anybody's got anything like that, come forward for healing prayer, or put your hand up, because I were near the front anyway. So I've put my hand up anyway. These 2 men have come over, and they've asked me obviously what I wanted prayer for. and I've explained to them about the break on my leg. They went, right, we'll pray for you. So they didn't actually touch my leg. One of them had his hand over my leg like that, and the other one had his hand on my shoulder, and they were both praying. And as they're praying, I could feel this energy coming from the man's hand into my leg. I could feel the Holy Spirit fixing my leg. So what's happened is all the muscles around the break area were like that. They were all twitching and spasming. So I could feel the bone. It was juttering like that, and I felt it come loose away from itself, and I felt it realign like that, and my whole leg, just my leg, nowhere else in my body, was tingling, and I could feel the Lord's love in my leg. Could literally feel His love in my leg, and I got the sense of, from what I was feeling in my leg, the Lord said to me, "You have faith." There we go. Boosh, your leg is healed. And previous to this actually happening at New Wine, we were camping, so we were getting in and out of the tent all the time, and I were having to get in the tent on my hands and knees, and with me putting pressure on my foot, it were hurting. I were in a lot of pain with it, getting in and out of the tent all the time. The pain went like that. After that moment, I had no pain in my leg. I was getting in and out of my tent. I could run, right? Previous to this happening, I couldn't run normally like a normal person. I run with a limp, right? The moment after this prayer, I was running normally, and I still can run normally, and that just blows my mind. How does somebody who's, has snapped my leg in 4 places, my fibula and my tibia, I should not be able to run properly, but I can. I should have horrendous pain. Don't get me wrong, I get a little bit of pain in my leg every now and again. I won't say that, it's fully healed and I don't get any pain in it, because I do get a little bit of pain in it from time to time, but nothing like it was. And nobody can ever take away from the fact that I literally felt the bone separate. I felt it. It separated and it realigned itself. And regardless of what anybody says to me, right, I know what I felt and I know what I experienced, and I know what I've been through in my life. I won't make something like that up. I'm not that kind of person to have to make something like that up. I know the Lord's real. I know what He'll do for you when you give your life to Him. I know what He does when you have faith in Him, and He'll heal whatever it is that you may be going through. Give your life to Jesus, put your trust in Him, and watch what He does.